Companies have suffered, and it's time to go after these scumbags.
We have people that are essentially whistleblowers that are coming forward. So we're getting people now that are coming out of the woodwork that are beginning to tell us things that I'm like, wow, this looks like something that I should have looked at when I was in Congress. It appears like it's been happening for a long time, but it's something that shouldn't happen in this country. I mean, you shouldn't be, if you're on this reg show list, if there's an irregularity, you can understand if something gets a little out of whack for 1 or 2 or 3 days, but then if the system works properly, everything should be cleaned out quickly. But I think the problem is bigger, and maybe they got so greedy at targeting us that maybe, just maybe, we don't know, but maybe we're going to expose something that's going to be bigger than what most of us imagined. And I think there's probably been a lot of companies over the last decade or so or more that have been hurt by these same tactics. And so, look, I'm hopeful that we're going to continue to work with our allies in Congress. We'll build the case. We'll inform the appropriate authorities. As you know, we've already talked to the NASDAQ. Seems to me like the RICO statute applies here. And that leads me to, the other, we're obviously going down the congressional route right now. But don't forget, there are a lot of state attorney generals that should have an interest in this. If how much damage has been done to capital formation of other smaller companies that have been hit by this naked short selling or counterfeit shares. My guess is it's going to be a large number. And look, we just might be the poster child. And if this happened to us, we're going to break it out into the open. We're going to make sure that people know about it, and we're going to continue to expose it. So working with Congress, working with other governmental authorities, and also going to work with the state attorney generals
that are abusing a broken system. Citadel Securities, Virtu Financial, Jane Street, and all the rest of the criminals that are making companies suffer. What is going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. First of all, happy Saturday. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your weekend so far. I want to give you an update and a summary on what happened with AMC and GameStop and what is happening coming into the week, as well as touching on some of the numbers and then the overall market and crypto. As always, we will have additional stuff throughout the video that we will be covering. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn post notifications on so you guys don't miss it when we upload here. Okay, investors that have traditionally been more risk adverse are piling back into an investment vehicle reminiscent of the 2008 global financial crisis, as sales of CLOs have surged 64% this year from the same period in 2023. Now, what are CLOs? CLOs are a bundle of loans that are ranked below investment grade. They are usually first lien bank loans to businesses that are initially sold to a CLO manager and consolidated into bundles of 150 to 250 loans. To fund the purchase of new debt, the CLO manager sells stakes in the CLO to outside investors in a structure called tranches. In a CLO, which is usually a corporate loan with low credit ratings or loans that have been taken out by private equity firms for the purposes of conducting a leveraged buyout, the investor receives scheduled debt payments from the underlying loans, assuming most of the risk if the borrowers default. Now, true to form and similarly to 2008, quote-unquote experts in Wall Street are downplaying risks and understating the potential and or likelihood of defaults in what Bloomberg calls a high-stakes trade in the riskiest corner of a $1.3 trillion credit market. We recently have talked about analysts saying, hey, bank closures are going to happen at least once a week from now on. There's danger in the water, and it's continuing to be reiterated. Today, the Bank of Canada warned the public of a possible sharp correction in asset prices and systematic risk to the banking system.
Over the past year, the risk of recession has diminished in Canada and globally. Inflation in most countries has come down, and inflation targets are in sight. However, there could be volatility in markets as expectations shift about when and by how much central banks will lower their policy rates. And there continue to be important geopolitical and economic risks on the horizon. Against this backdrop, households and businesses continue to adjust to past interest rate increases. Some indicators of financial stress have risen. At the same time, the valuations of some financial assets appear to have become stretched. This could increase the risk of a sharp correction that could generate system-wide stress. The recent rise in the use of leverage in non-bank financial institutions could amplify the effects of such a correction. What's most important is that to properly manage risks, financial system participants need to remain proactive, and financial authorities need to remain vigilant.
Finally, jumping into AMC and GameStop, Vanguard added 22% more shares in AMC. Whether that's to loan them out or not, purchase is better than a sell. Now, coming into the week, we need to talk about Ethereum Classic first before we jump into AMC's chart. And AMC's chart is going to be next. Ethereum Classic is trading at $26.57, up 0.72% on the day. What happened? We are looking extremely bearish on Ethereum Classic, and we got this nasty rejection right here, right around $34, after we initially got rejected at the top of this line right under $40. With that being said, we're playing out another white zone, which in my opinion is a smaller cycle, which is not something that we wanted to see, which means we may be pushed through another entirety of a cycle. We initially had this box where we ran into the green cycle, which was a point of interest. We had the same thing, same time frame, and this was the green cycle. As of right now, we are selling off and we're breaking below that green cycle, which shows me something like this is going to happen with Ethereum Classic. Next breakdown is going to bring it down to $22 to $21.80, and then the final breakdown, $18 for Ethereum Classic before bottoming out and getting a pop from there. But as of right now, that also correlates to AMC doing bad. AMC was supposed to have bullish momentum right here, but instead it got rejected at $3.15. And looking at it coming into the week, the likelihood of AMC coming right down to $2 to $1.99 is becoming more and more likely. And as of right now, coming into the week, that is what we're looking at. Okay, $1.99 to $2 before moving higher. Okay, this isn't just coming down here and I'm saying it's dead. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying before moving higher, that's what we're likely going to see by June 7th, AMC hitting that level, and then from there moving up. Now the numbers for the week, short exempts just increasingly got higher throughout the week. 200,000, 245, 308, 358. So they increasingly were just dropping short exempts on it. They did not want all of these calls to go into the money. They wanted all this premium being handed over to market makers, and it also would have been dangerous for them if we started to see a gamma ramp going higher. GameStop, we won on the options chain very well, 43,000 calls compared to 1,000 puts expiring in the money. And the next week, a ton of people are betting bullish on GameStop as well, but this is going to be a dangerous game. Short exempts still got extremely high on GameStop as well, 326,000. GameStop tested the top of the range at 18, which has been a major level for the stock all the way since back in 2021 when we squoze. If we can somehow break the algorithm and get around this, which the CAT system being implemented soon is going to be a big factor in this, right? Then GameStop is going to move very fast to $25, and that is one scenario that we have that we're watching. Of course, they smacked it on Friday towards mid-end of day because it went way too far out of the zone, 12% out of the macro trend line. So GameStop is going to be a close eye. Also keep an eye on DJT stock for them coming after short sellers. Okay, the S&P 500, really not much to say. Closed above 520, surprisingly. Hit our first target. Didn't quite get to our second target right around 524. I still think that is going to happen. A couple things that I wanted to note. Volume did fade last week. We want to see more buyers come in for the week to have a stronger move higher. And we also want to see some positive moves in Bitcoin. But I do see the SPY pumping this week. I do see Bitcoin pumping this week. And right before we get into Bitcoin, I want to cover a couple things. Billionaire Mark Cuban says Gary Gensler and the SEC are trying to destroy the crypto industry. And finally, the biggest bank in the world, JP Morgan, has been buying spot Bitcoin ETFs issued by BlackRock, Fidelity, and Bitwise. Okay, Bitcoin got a nasty red candle on the week, rejecting right here, right around 64,000 and breaking down to 60K, however, held support. Here's what I see happening with Bitcoin. We got about a 22% retracement on the sell-off in total, which is very similar to what we saw back here when Bitcoin topped out. I see Bitcoin getting a nice relief bounce, but I don't think that is going to be the end of it. I see Bitcoin coming all the way back up to anywhere from 67 to 72,000 this week alone before flushing down even further and bringing us down to potentially this channel right around 45K. And that would be essentially the very bottom before Bitcoin's move higher. Now, this doesn't have to happen. If we hold these green parallel channel lines, right, then that will be a solid thing. However, we are testing the very bottom of it, as you can see right here, testing that crucial level. And if Bitcoin smashes below that, it's going to sell pretty fast. So just keep an eye on that. Last but not least, guys, Apple has closed in on an agreement with Microsoft-backed OpenAI to use the startup's AI technology on the phone. Overall, that is what I got for you guys for today's video. Hopefully enjoy the rest of your weekend. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, guys. We're sitting at 19.2K subs. Thank you guys so much for the support you've been showing me. We are almost at 20K and we're going up fast. Also, if you guys want to know my trades as soon as I take them or want to come talk with me, request videos, post your gains, post your losses, and overall upgrade your trading journey, upgrade your level to become financially free, it's a coffee a month. Don't sleep on it. The Discord link is right under the video and pinned in the top of comments. Cheapest Discord on YouTube for the value. We also have a huge announcement coming out on the channel, that something else I've been working on for you guys. So those two things, and also if you want up to 10 free fractional shares, download Moomoo, open an account, and make a deposit into there. Go deposit a penny, get your free stocks, level 2 order book data for free, access to trading options, going long, going short, and more as a retail trader, plus a customizable earnings calendar. Overall, I think Moomoo is a great interface to use for the tools. It makes it very, very simple. That is it, guys. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.